Hey guys, my name is Elaina Knott, and this year I'm serving as the Minnesota FFA State Treasurer. And today I get to be with you virtually. And together we're going to be diving deeper into how to build our community, but with a plot twist. COVID edition. I don't know about you, but one thing I love is having people around me. And you can probably imagine that during quarantine, I didn't have a whole lot of people around me, but I learned something really important: how to identify your community and how to build them up and make sure that they are there to support you and that you're there to support them. So with that in mind, let's jump into how to build up these communities around us in these rather virtual times. Community is super important because everyone needs someone to lean on, and communities give us a sense of belonging, kind of like family. Communities can look very, very different depending on the person or the group. Communities can look like school, a town, a block, sports, social groups, and take a second and pause this video and brainstorm the communities that you as a chapter officer and your officer team have around you. Hey there, welcome back. Now that you've identified these community groups within your chapter, look back and write down why these communities are important. For example, maybe you identified that farmers are an important community to your FFA chapter. Why are they important? Do they support you in your local corn drive? Do they provide people to help with your crops CDE? With that in mind, take a second and pause this video to brainstorm why these communities are important. Welcome back. So now let's dive deeper into one of the most important communities that we have as chapter officers. So the biggest one that we have is our members. Without our members, we don't have a chapter. So we need to make sure that we have our members and that we're building up those relationships with them. So how do we do that? That's a great question. And during these times, it kind of has to be done very creatively. But here are a couple of options for you. First, let's encourage our members to participate in state events and regional events as well as chapter events. And you yourself can also participate in those events. Next, create competition within your chapter. Maybe that's doing a Quizlet Live or a Kahoot, or my personal favorite, Goose Chase. Look it up on Google, it's pretty awesome. And third, you can, as a chapter officer, reach out to your members. Your members see you as someone to look up to and someone that's a role model. And I know when I was a freshman in FFA, and even as a sophomore, I really looked up to my chapter officers. And it would have meant the world to me if one of them reached out to me. And this could look very different and very simple. You can talk to them face to face, hopefully with a mask on, and you can even DM them on social media, maybe Snapchat or Instagram, or my personal favorite and what means the most to me, writing a simple note, whether that's on a Post-it note or even like a thank you note or just a check-in on you note. And during these times, it's really awesome to be checking in on the people that are around you and that you care about. Next, let's look at our community members. They're super, super important because they support what we do. How can you help your community members? Like I said before, this could look like farmers that donate to your local corn drive, or even a printing company that prints your chapter t-shirts for a reduced price or even free. How can you help build up the community with them? Well, a really easy one is to volunteer in your community. This could be virtual, or many times it's in person. Reach out to them and see what you can do for them in thanks. And also, you can write them a really nice thank you note, especially when they've done something for your chapter. So now, pick one of the groups that you've identified in the last activity, pause this video, and now let's go into what you have. Select one of the categories of community that you have identified. And once you have that identification and why they're important from the last activity, pause this video and brainstorm ideas that how you can help support them and how they can help support you during this year. Hey there, welcome back again. So now that you have identified these communities, why they're important, and how you can support them and how they can support you, I encourage you to take these activities that either I mentioned or that you have come up with and incorporate those into your year of service, as they are extremely important because they all deal with building communities. Communities, again, are super important, and we need to make sure that they are healthy and alive during this time. I encourage you to do a very short, simple activity and get a piece of paper and write a note to someone that you care about, whether they're in your chapter, in your community, or even in your family. Write them a quick little note telling them how much you appreciate them. And with those strategies, you guys as chapter officers can build your community around your chapter. You guys are super, super awesome, and if you need anything throughout the year, don't be afraid to reach out. I'll link my email right here, and also the state's email as well. Thanks for having me, guys.